Celebratory drinking is when we drink in the context of course, like a celebration, right? But it's not just for football games or basketball games or sports. It's like celebrating just being free, going on spring break, on a holiday or something. So it's celebratory drinking is drinking for reasons you normally wouldn't in the context of just day-to-day life. My name is Benjamin Montemayor, and I'm an assistant professor in health behavior in the School of Public Health here at Texas A&M University. At spring break, there's different occasions where you celebrate drinking that are just additional points to drink that wouldn't exist in your typical every day-to-day life. It's added points of contact that allow us to drink beyond what would typically be maybe just an average weekday or weekend. In the context of maybe let's talk about spring break here. In a normal week, men and women, especially in the young adults, college students, drink around 13 drinks for men, and then maybe 8 to 9 drinks for women in a typical span of 7 days. So, but what happens is when they have these additional celebratory reasons to drink, those rates increase beyond what a typical normal week would be. If you're on spring break, you're looking at anywhere from double to triple that amount. Maybe it's 20 to 30 for men, and then 16 to 24 for women. And we're just talking if you're able to actually assess what the drink is. Assessing the number of drinks you consume also gets complicated with celebratory drinking because you're mixing and matching and you're drinking concoctions that were just kind of made up. At some place like spring break, the elevated rates it could be contributed to a few reasons, but a lot of it resonates with this earn mentality of it's spring break, I have a week to kind of just forget about my responsibilities at home for a little bit. They're still there, but that's future problems, right? So we have the ability to kind of just let loose for a little bit, and with that comes the context of the social setting that you're in, just being overall just happier. It's the time that we can do this because in what other context can we wake up and consume 5 days a week from sunup to evening. So some social scientists and psychologists will contend that someone's mindset going into this drinking occasion and someone's physical their setting actually it's what I call it, and I'll probably get made fun of, is the vibes that are there are the perfect recipe for bypassing what you typically would do if you were drinking at home. That 13 drinks per week, now it allows you to, or let's say it's 2 or 3 drinks a day. Now you're going to easily double, triple, or quadruple that because your mindset is in the perfect place and you're surrounded by the perfect people in the sense that you all have the same mindset, and that you're able to bypass this sort of mechanism that says that when you're at home, typically this is the time to cut it off. Either you get sleepy or you just get full or something happens or you start to become inebriated. In that sense, you're kind of running on these your adrenaline's higher, your epinephrine, everything's just kind of increased, and with that comes this sort of just stimulant. It kind of just stimulates you. And the thing about alcohol is, although it's a depressant, at first it starts off by stimulating the body, and it kind of just gets you ready to engage in high levels of drinking. Just think of the context of which people, when they start going out, for a night, it's never just kind of dragging. It's always high energy. And once things catch up, you're kind of looking at it manifesting in your central nervous system starts to kind of become depressed. So then you become less coordinated. Of course, then the inebriation starts to kind of come about when that ethanol alcohol level reaches a point to where it's having to be metabolized and it just can't keep up with the pace of which you would usually excrete an alcoholic drink, which is typically the base that everyone understands is a drink an hour, right? But the bottleneck happens is when we compile multiple drinks and those hours are just kind of extending over time, so it takes that much longer. When that happens, when the rate of which you excrete alcohol is bypassed, or essentially you're kind of playing catch up, that's when alcohol and ethanol alcohol is essentially able to roam free around the body and really cause those issues like passing out, and then things that overdosing, And it can also hit on you know, not just health-wise, but there's implications for legal reasons, right? Like you being passed out on the beach doesn't mean that an officer's going to leave you alone. They could charge you with, depending on how old you are, an MIP, public intoxication. If you get in any sort of vehicle as you're driving away, or if if you're just kind of cruising around the side, like they could still charge you with something if they see that you're kind of disturbing the peace, or you're being reckless in some capacity. So it doesn't just mean that, you know, health-wise you're going to suffer like what happens when you get drunk and inebriated. You have a lot of financial and legal sort of ramifications that come with heavy drinking during celebrations. If you're going to engage in celebratory drinking, it's key to start off with, you know, like I always tell my students or anyone I talk to, like, don't drink if you're, I tell them to halt. Don't drink if you're hungry, angry, lonely, or tired, which I understand it's during spring break. You're already kind of pushing past those thresholds, but make sure that you have food in you. I know some of the common reasons is or, you know, justifications, like I get drunk faster if I have less food in me, right? It's cheaper to drink at that case. Plan accordingly, you know, definitely Uber home if you're going to do something. Plan that before you even get out there. You can schedule these things, hold yourself accountable, count how many drinks you have, and make sure you always hold on to your drink if you're going to drink something. That way you know, like what's in it and what's not in it. And if someone's mixing drinks, just please be cautious about like what they put in there, just because not just like being spiked, but also just the sense that there could be a lot of alcohol in there, and the proportion that never happens with one drink in, one drink out, it goes out the window. So hydration would be a key. It'd be key to stay hydrated throughout, and one of the ways to do that is, of course, to alternate alcohol with water as water kind of as you consume alcohol the next morning. And the reason we get dehydrated is that it's kind of starting to steal water away from the organs that we need, that we use in everyday functioning. It starts to kind of just pull water away from those because it's, you know, it's a diuretic, right? So it needs to find ways to kind of stay hydrated. So as you become more and more dehydrated, you start to feel worse. So of course it's best to alternate with water.